As a sports medicine and concussion specialist, one of the most common questions I get is, how do I know if my child had a concussion? First off, there's an injury, and it's not necessarily always a head-to-head injury, but it can be a blow to the chest, and that force is transmitted up to the head, shaking the brain. And following that injury, there's signs and symptoms. Now, it's important that if you suspect your child may have had a concussion, that you take them out of play immediately, because sometimes those signs and symptoms come up right away, but other times they may blossom and grow over the next few hours. What that means is you can have a child who you think has a concussion that looks actually pretty good right away, but 4 or 5 hours later they have terrible symptoms and feel bad. So when we talk about the signs and symptoms of concussion, it's important to know that signs are what we can see. That's things like loss of consciousness, which is very unusual with concussion. In fact, 9 out of 10 kids that have a concussion are not knocked out. Signs are also things like disorientation. Perhaps your child is going to the wrong spot on the playing field. It's also things like sleepiness. Symptoms are how the athlete feels, and it's very important to ask them specific questions on each one of these things. If you just ask overall how they feel, the answer will be fine, because they don't want to tell you they're feeling bad because they may be held out of the game. So some of the more common symptoms are headache, dizziness, mental fogginess, difficulty with concentration, and sleepiness or fatigue. If you suspect that your child has a concussion, please remove them from activity right away and have them follow up with their healthcare provider before returning to play. This is very important because if you get back too early, you're at risk for repeat injury and at risk for worsening this current concussion. If you'd like to learn more about concussion, please visit our Concussion Clinic website at chw.org/concussion.